Today we're going to begin drafting our story. Remember that a story is a group of sentences about make-believe characters. All right, let's review some of the details about the characters and plots that you wrote on your graphic organizer on day 4 last week. That we just were getting ideas and planning our story. So let's look back, okay, if you can find your planning page from last week. We're going to review those details about what you are planning as your story before we move on. So quickly do that and come back to the video when you're ready and you have remembered what you were going to write. All right, now we're going to work on drafting this story. So I need to introduce my characters at the beginning of my story. So I'll start telling about Drew and what he was doing. Okay, so we're writing a story about a character who has a big change in his or her life. And remember, in a story, the beginning names the character, the middle is going to tell about your problem, and the end is going to tell how the character solved the problem. So if I were going to draft my story, Dot and Drew, I'm going to introduce. Okay, so once there were two mice who lived in the woods. Drew lived under a log. He had a big home but no food. Dot had lots of food but no home. She lived under a leaf or in any other place she could find. One day, Drew was looking for food and he met Dot. She had a huge piece of cheese. "I'll share my cheese with you," said Dot. "Well, I'll share my home with you," said Drew. After that, Dot and Drew lived very well in their home under the log. All right, so you're going to begin drafting your stories using your graphic organizers from lesson 24, day 4, and you are just going to begin to draft and work on the beginning first. You're going to introduce your characters and tell what they're doing. Okay. Good writers use sentences also of different lengths in their stories. So before you begin to draft, let's talk about that. Okay. So they use some long sentences and some short ones. Different sentence lengths kind of keeps the writing from getting boring. So writers can make long sentences by joining two short sentences with the words and, but, or. Now, the word because can also be used to join sentences, especially when the first sentence explains why something happened in the second sentence. So from the new friend, here's a short sentence, okay? Here's some short sentences. Makoto has new friends. He misses his friends from Japan. Instead of those two short sentences, okay, the author wrote, Makoto has new friends, comma, but he misses his friends from Japan. What word is used to combine those two short sentences in the second example? Right, the word but. Good job. Let's look at these long sentences and join them with the word and. There is a new girl at school. Her name is Kim. We would make that there is a new girl at school, comma, and her name is Kim. Here's two short sentences. Kim likes to read. She likes to play ball. We'd write it Kim likes to read, comma, and she likes to play ball. Okay, do you get what we're doing? Making different length sentences? So that's what your focus today is sentence fluency. And you're going to practice doing that on page 143 in your reader's notebook. So why don't you work on this page and make these two short sentences at the top into a long sentence by joining those two with the word and. They already have the comma, the and then the ending punctuation in here for you, just like we just did on the projectable. Once you've practiced using sentences with different lengths, then your job is going to be to begin drafting your story using the model that we just talked about in describing your characters and what they're doing in the beginning of your story. All right, so have fun with this and have fun drafting your story that you worked so hard on planning last week.